Could you sleep in a New Orleans mansion haunted by the mutilated slaves that were tortured and murdered in their quarters?
It's the place the king of pop used to call home. And now, the famous Neverland Ranch in Los Olivos, California is for sale.
What happens when even the rich and famous can't seem to sell their mansions? It's not uncommon for some of the most iconic celebrity homes to sit abandoned for years, their price tags slashed dramatically, yet still no buyers step forward. These once lavish estates, symbols of success, luxury, and power, are now left to rot. What makes these properties unsellable? Could there be hidden secrets behind these mansions that we're not seeing? Let's take a deep dive into some of these eerie tales of unsold celebrity homes and uncover what's really going on. You won't believe the twists and turns of these shocking stories. Stay tuned. Liza Minnelli's abandoned Beverly Hills mansion. Liza Minnelli's childhood home in Beverly Hills, a once glittering gem of Hollywood's golden age,
as we check out this abandoned mansion in the heart of Beverly Hills, one of Hollywood's saddest stories,
now stands as a haunting reminder of a time long gone. This mansion, once filled with music and joy, was at the heart of Hollywood's exclusive circle. It hosted some of the most glamorous events, encapsulating the essence of old Hollywood. But after the death of Minnelli's stepmother, the mansion slowly decayed. Without maintenance, the walls cracked, windows shattered, and the property faded into neglect. It became a place of eerie fascination for urban explorers and YouTubers who documented its decline. Once a celebrated piece of entertainment history, this iconic estate is now forgotten and abandoned. Despite its cultural significance, not a single potential buyer has come forward to revive it. The mansion now sits in limbo, a relic of the past. Johnny Depp's enchanting but unwanted village estate. Nestled in the French countryside near Saint-Tropez,
it was abandoned, deserted for years before Johnny bought it, and it's 12 buildings.
In the south of France, absolutely stunning. Now,
Johnny Depp's abandoned village estate is far from a typical mansion. This unique 30-acre property features stone cottages, a church, a town square, and even a restaurant. Basically, a fully renovated hamlet. Depp infused his artistic vision into this property, transforming it into a whimsical retreat straight out of a movie. Despite its charm, the estate has failed to find a buyer. Depp's financial troubles and ongoing legal battles forced him to list the property at a steep price. But the vastness of the estate proved to be too much of a challenge for prospective buyers. Maintaining a self-contained village is a monumental task, and despite repeated price drops, the property remains unsold, waiting for someone willing to take on its complexities. Burt Reynolds' Florida Ranch, a fading Hollywood legacy. Burt Reynolds' sprawling ranch in Florida, once the epitome of Hollywood grandeur, is now a shadow of its former self.
Reynolds Ranch is a gated community located right here in Jupiter, Florida. They feature 30 estate homes, and what's interesting is this used to be Burt Reynolds' own personal property.
Featuring horse stables, a private movie theater, and lavish guest houses, this estate was more than just a home. It was a personal sanctuary for the iconic actor, where he could escape from the pressures of fame. However, as Reynolds faced mounting financial difficulties, the ranch began to deteriorate. Growing debts forced him to sell, but the property languished on the market for years. When it finally sold, it went for a fraction of its original price. Though the estate has changed hands, its ties to Reynolds remain, marking the end of a Hollywood legend. It's a poignant reminder of how quickly fortunes can change, leaving behind only memories. Mike Tyson's mansion, from excess to ruin. Mike Tyson's enormous Ohio mansion is a prime example of extreme wealth.
The mansion heavyweight boxing champion Mike Tyson once called home is undergoing a huge makeover. The Trumbull County property was donated,
followed by an equally dramatic decline. At the height of his boxing career, the estate was a showcase of luxury. Private nightclubs, an indoor basketball court, and multiple swimming pools. It was a playground fitting for a champion living life on top of the world. But as Tyson's career faltered and his finances collapsed, so did his hold on the property. Forced into bankruptcy and legal turmoil, Tyson abandoned the mansion, leaving it to rot. For years, the mansion stood abandoned, its opulent interiors overtaken by dust and decay. However, in an unexpected turn of events, the property was eventually bought by a local church and converted into a place of worship.
The mansion once owned by boxer Mike Tyson will soon be a place of worship.
Tyson's once extravagant palace is now home to faith and community, a striking contrast to its original purpose. Cher's Malibu Mansion, a symbol of enduring glamour. Perched on the cliffs of Malibu, Cher's Renaissance-inspired mansion is an opulent display of wealth and artistry. Featuring breathtaking ocean views, stone arches, and old-world charm, the estate looks more like a luxurious Italian villa than a typical Californian beach house. Inside, it boasts private gyms, lush gardens, and a meditation room, all fit for a pop icon. Despite its grandeur, the mansion has been unable to secure a buyer. Although Cher has reduced the price multiple times, shifting market trends and the home's highly personal design have kept potential buyers at bay. What was once a symbol of Malibu's luxury is now an embodiment of changing real estate tastes. Cher's estate remains unsold, a bittersweet testament to her lasting glamour, even as the world moves on. Bruce Lee's Hong Kong home, a legend left in limbo. Bruce Lee's former home in Hong Kong, a humble two-story house.
The star's former home was demolished in 2019, but with the use of virtual reality technology, the Bruce Lee Club said the martial arts star's fans will be able to revisit the home.
Is where the martial arts legend spent his final days. Despite Lee's lasting influence as a global icon, his old residence has been left to decay. Efforts to transform it into a museum have faltered time and time again due to legal disputes and changes in ownership. As the house crumbles, its significance fades into obscurity. However, it still attracts devoted fans who visit in hopes of connecting with their hero's legacy. Despite numerous attempts to preserve the home, it remains uncertain what the future holds for this once legendary site. David Gilmour's Hook End Manor, a former rock refuge now in decay. Imagine a place where legends of rock once roamed. Hook End Manor, once the heartbeat of music history, now sits in eerie silence. Once owned by Pink Floyd's David Gilmour,
a few people starting to cotton on, so I don't mind disclosing what this place is. This is the former home of Pink Floyd band member David.
This grand estate in the English countryside served as more than just a home. It was a creative haven. Here, iconic songs were born, including parts of the Final Cut. Music legends like Rod Stewart walked its halls. But as time passed, the mansion was sold and passed through several hands. By 2017, it was abandoned, left to deteriorate. Overgrown gardens, cracked windows, and peeling paint are all that's left, a stark reminder of what it once was. Despite efforts to restore or sell it, Hook End Manor now remains frozen in time, quiet, yet full of memories. Pablo Escobar's Annapolis estate, the mansion that ruled and fell. What do luxury, power, and a criminal empire look like? They were all found in Pablo Escobar's Annapolis estate. This vast Colombian compound once boasted a private zoo, a bullfighting ring, and a personal airstrip for Escobar's fleet. It was a symbol of excess, luxurious yet menacing. But after Escobar's death, the estate began to crumble. Nature took over, and the Colombian government seized control. Today, remnants of Escobar's empire remain, a haunting reminder of a man who thought he was untouchable. Although part of the estate has been turned into a public park, large sections remain untouched, frozen in time, haunted by the ghost of the past. Steve Jobs and the Jackling House, a battle between innovation and preservation. Steve Jobs' relationship with the Jackling House was a complicated one.
In 1926, a mansion was built out in Woodside, California that was designed by one of the most prominent architects in California. He could prove to the city that the house really couldn't be saved and needed to be demolished.
This 1920s Spanish colonial mansion in Woodside, California, was a stunning piece of architecture. Jobs purchased it in the 1980s, but instead of restoring it, he let it fall into disrepair. His ultimate goal? Demolition. This sparked a fierce legal battle with preservationists who fought to save the house. After a prolonged fight, Jobs got his way, and in 2011, the Jackling House was demolished. While the house no longer stands, the debate surrounding its destruction remains, reflecting the clash between innovation and historical preservation. Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch, From Utopia to Unsolvable. Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch was meant to be a personal paradise, a place where the king of pop could escape into his own world.
The king of pop's famous Neverland estate, where he lived for 15 years, just hit the market for $100 million.
With an amusement park, private zoo, and a movie theater, it symbolized the extravagant side of his life. But as controversies and legal issues swirled around Jackson, the magic of Neverland began to fade. After his passing in 2009, attempts to revitalize the ranch were made, but the stigma surrounding it lingered. Despite multiple renovations, it remained unsold for years until it was finally acquired at a deeply discounted price. Neverland Ranch, once a dream, now serves as a somber reminder of Jackson's complex legacy. Boris Becker's Mallorca estate, from luxury to neglect. Boris Becker's former estate in Mallorca once reflected the grandeur of his tennis career. The sprawling Mediterranean villa, with its private pool and breathtaking views, was a symbol of success. However, as Becker's financial troubles grew, so did the decline of the estate. Legal battles and mounting debts led to the property's deterioration. Once a luxurious retreat, it became a symbol of Becker's financial downfall. Today, it stands as a relic of a bygone era, waiting for a buyer who can restore its former glory. Alicia Keys and Swizz Beatz, the mansion that wasn't meant to be. Alicia Keys and Swizz Beatz once owned a lavish New Jersey mansion, once Eddie Murphy's home. With its expansive grounds and private theater, it seemed like the perfect celebrity retreat. But when the couple decided to sell, the mansion lingered on the market for years, with several price reductions along the way. Despite its star-studded history, the property struggled to find a buyer. Eventually, it sold for much less than the couple had initially paid. Their experience shows that even the most glamorous celebrity homes aren't immune to the unpredictable real estate market. Robin Williams' Sanctuary, a place of solitude, now fading. Robin Williams' California estate was meant to be a peaceful retreat, a sanctuary far from the pressures of fame. Set amidst beautiful landscapes, it offered solitude and luxury. But after Williams' tragic passing in 2014, the property became burdened with an emotional weight.
The terrible news of the death of Robin Williams. A statement from his wife confirming his death alludes to his battle with depression, and now we know why.
Despite its beauty, buyers found it hard to detach from the sorrow that lingered. The estate sat on the market for years, with repeated price cuts, until it was finally sold for less than expected. Now, it serves as a poignant reminder of the laughter and joy that once filled the air. Tom Cruise's mountain estate, a remote getaway no one wanted. Tom Cruise's private Colorado estate was the perfect escape, a serene retreat nestled in the mountains. With hiking trails, breathtaking views, and absolute privacy, it seemed like a dream.
Cruise's Colorado estate was custom built for privacy.
Look at your view from the kitchen, though. Yeah. This is great. This is great.
But despite its allure, the property struggled to sell. Over time, the asking price was slashed multiple times, yet no one bid. The remote location, while offering tranquility, made it a hard sell for most buyers. Eventually, the estate sold, but not for the amount Cruise had hoped. It's a reminder that even A-list celebrities face challenges when it comes to high-end real estate. Kanye West's mansion, too lavish for minimalists, too dated for modernists. Kanye West's Los Angeles mansion was once a symbol of excess. Intricate moldings, chandeliers, and classical design elements made it a luxurious statement piece. However, it no longer aligned with West's evolving minimalist aesthetic, and attempts to sell it were met with little interest. Despite featuring a private theater, cutting-edge gym, and vast entertainment spaces, the property never attracted the right buyer. Now, it remains a paradox, too extravagant for minimalists, too traditional for contemporary buyers. Its future remains uncertain, caught between its past grandeur and West's evolving vision. Courtney Love's retreat, a personal sanctuary gone to ruin. Courtney Love's Washington State retreat was meant to be her escape, a peaceful hideaway away from the public's eye. Surrounded by nature, it was the perfect refuge. However, neglect took its toll, and what was once a sanctuary became a crumbling shell. Attempts to sell the property were long and unsuccessful, with potential buyers turned off by the extensive repairs needed. Eventually, Love accepted a much lower offer than expected. The estate now stands as a reminder that even the most cherished retreats can fall into ruin. Jason Derulo's mansion, a luxury property stuck in limbo. Jason Derulo's Coconut Creek mansion, with its sleek design and private amenities, was once a desirable piece of real estate. But despite its high-end features,
Jason did everything himself. He changed everything up.
7 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, and a whole lot of awesomeness on 2.5 acres. So why sell it?
It remained on the market far longer than expected. In a competitive luxury market, potential buyers had plenty of newer, flashier options. Despite several price reductions, the mansion remained unsold. It's a reminder that even the most well-maintained celebrity homes aren't immune to the challenges of a saturated real estate market. 50 Cent's mansion, a cautionary tale of excess. 50 Cent's former mansion in Connecticut was a symbol of excess, featuring 21 bedrooms, multiple pools, and even a nightclub. But what seemed like the ultimate trophy home became a financial burden. After over a decade on the market, the estate finally sold for a fraction of its original price. It stands as a cautionary tale about the dangers of living beyond one's means, serving as a reminder that even the wealthiest can face harsh realities in the world of real estate. Nicolas Cage's haunted mansion, a property stuck in the past. Nicolas Cage's purchase of the LaLaurie Mansion in New Orleans was driven by its eerie mystique. Once owned by the infamous Madame LaLaurie, the mansion's dark history made it one of the most haunted locations in America.
The home of America's first female serial killer, Delphine LaLaurie. That actor Nicolas Cage once owned this house. He knew what this house was, and he still bought it.
Cage added it to his collection of extravagant properties, but when financial difficulties arose, he was forced to sell. Despite its prime location, the mansion's grim past made it nearly impossible to sell. Its haunted reputation keeps it in a state of uncertainty. Will anyone brave enough claim it? Britney Spears' Thousand Oaks Villa, a fall from grace. Britney Spears' Thousand Oaks Villa, designed to be her sanctuary away from the harsh glare of the public eye, was once the epitome of serenity. It offered her peace, an escape from the relentless scrutiny that came with fame. But as her personal battles deepened, so too did the decay of the property. What was once a beautifully manicured garden is now tangled and wild. The home, located in an enviable spot, became tied to the struggles of its owner. Despite its potential, selling it proved to be nearly impossible. The shadow of her public life loomed large, making it a tough sell on the luxury real estate market. Lil Wayne's Miami Beach mansion, a star's struggle. Lil Wayne's Miami Beach mansion is a reflection of his peak success, but it's also a reminder of the unpredictable nature of the luxury market. Initially listed at a premium price, the mansion failed to attract the right buyer. The real estate market was thriving, but the mansion simply wasn't moving. After several price drops and market fluctuations, Wayne finally sold the property, but at a significant loss. This situation sheds light on a sobering truth. Not even the most extravagant properties are immune to the volatility of the luxury market. Keith Richards' New York penthouse, a rocker's real estate blues. Keith Richards' penthouse in New York, boasting stunning marble floors and sweeping views of the skyline, had all the hallmarks of luxury. Yet despite its allure, it failed to sell. The prime location couldn't overcome the oversaturated market and its hefty asking price. After being stuck for years without a buyer, Richards eventually parted with the property at a loss. This tale serves as a reminder. Not even rock stars with iconic status are exempt from the harsh realities of high-end real estate. Muhammad Hadid's Bel Air mansion, a dream turned nightmare. Muhammad Hadid's Bel Air mega mansion seemed like a grand vision of ambition and success. Yet, it eventually turned into a cautionary tale. Legal battles over building violations and safety concerns plagued the property, leaving it in a state of disrepair. What was meant to be a stunning masterpiece became an unfinished structure that couldn't be sold. The once promising mansion, due to its many issues, is now a symbol of what can go wrong when ambition and reality collide. Elon Musk's $37 million California mansion, the price of minimalism. When Elon Musk put his $37 million California mansion up for sale, it was a move that raised eyebrows. Musk, always the innovator with grand plans, was shifting focus toward more ambitious goals. Despite its prime location and luxurious features, the mansion struggled to attract serious buyers. Musk's minimalist lifestyle clashed with the sprawling, extravagant nature of the property, ultimately leading to its sale. This marked the end of a chapter, where even the world's richest man decided that less was more. Madonna's Beverly Hills mansion, the fluctuating fortune of fame. Madonna's mansion in Beverly Hills, a lavish tribute to her legendary career, failed to attract buyers in a competitive market. Despite repeated price cuts, it couldn't stand out among other luxurious homes. In the end, the property sold at a loss, showing that fame alone doesn't guarantee a quick sale in real estate, no matter how iconic the name attached to it may be. Mark White's mansion, haunted by the past. Mark White's mansion was a stunning piece of architecture, but it carried a dark reputation. The tragic events that occurred there cast a long shadow over its potential. Despite efforts to restore and sell the property, the stigma of its haunted history proved insurmountable. No matter how luxurious the mansion was, its eerie past prevented it from ever reaching its full value. Some things, it seems, can't be erased, especially in real estate. Tommy Lee's Calabasas mansion, a rock star's Gothic dream. Tommy Lee's Gothic-style mansion in Calabasas reflected his larger-than-life persona.
Motley Crue drummer Tommy Lee has just bought this property in Brentwood for $4,150,000. Now, he's still trying to sell his Calabasas home, which is still in the market for $4.6 million.
But its bold design and rumors of paranormal activity made it a tough sell. After struggling to find a buyer, Lee was forced to lower the price before the mansion finally sold. The property, once a testament to his rock and roll lifestyle, was ultimately more of a liability than a luxury asset. Birdman's abandoned New Orleans mansion, a reminder of tragedy. Birdman's mansion in New Orleans, devastated by Hurricane Katrina, has remained abandoned ever since. Though there were efforts to restore the property, the damage was too great. Now, the mansion stands as a haunting reminder of the disaster, trapped in a state of neglect and ruin. Its once grand appearance has faded into the past, and its future seems just as uncertain. Aleister Crowley's Boleskine House, a haunted legacy. Aleister Crowley's Boleskine House in Scotland, steeped in dark history and rumors of occult rituals, is a place that continues to captivate the imagination. Despite efforts to restore it, The mansion's eerie reputation made it nearly impossible to sell. Its tragic past looms large, preventing it from ever being seen as a valuable asset in the real estate market. The property is forever linked to the mystique and controversy of Crowley's legacy. Gene Hackman's Hollywood secret, the tapes that never were. Gene Hackman, one of Hollywood's greatest actors, retreated from the industry as he grew disillusioned with the darker side of fame. In his later years, he withdrew to Santa Fe, New Mexico, where he kept a collection of tapes documenting Hollywood's hidden world. These tapes, filled with evidence of corruption and abuse, became Hackman's secret, revealing a side of Hollywood most would never dare to uncover. He even spoke to close friends about his involvement in a secret inner circle that made deals involving serious moral compromises. Before Hackman's death, he made a final confession to a friend, admitting the weight of his silence over the years. Shortly after, the tapes, believed to contain explosive secrets, mysteriously vanished. Despite efforts to locate them, the tapes were never found. Hackman's death left the world with more questions than answers. What truths did these tapes contain? And who was working to keep these secrets buried forever? The mystery remains unsolved, leaving Hollywood's shadowy past just out of reach.